How's it going, my friends? Today we're going to continue on with our Sharkey Shootout. Previous video we went through and we looked at everything, and you know, the machine's complete, nothing missing, nothing broke on the play field, so everything's here. Yep, boing. So it is time to start going through our boards. You seen in the first video that we did hook everything up and turned it on, and we have a coil locked on, and that's our auto shoot coil or auto kick coil, whatever the hell it is. It's this guy right here. Now, it could be because we have a bad MOSFET or transistor, whatever you want to call them, or it's because of that nasty stuff there, and it looks like a bird was sitting in there and took a dump. Both that is that's alkaline from the batteries. So we have a little bit of alkaline damage. Well, I don't know if it's damage or if it's just discolored. So once we get that board out of there, we'll take a look at it, and hopefully we just have to clean it up, clean up our chips and clean the alkaline off the board, and it hasn't done too much damage. Hopefully none. And we'll get that all taken care of. A little power supply here. I think, yeah, we'll pull it down and take a look at the connector, see if we need to do a reflow, and check a few things on it. But I'm pretty sure our power supply is working. The only thing that we were missing, when I turned it on, that coil locked on instantly, so it's really kind of hard to see anything else, because I don't want to leave it on and fry something else. I had it on for a little bit one time and I started smelling it, and nope, that's enough of that, and then I turned it on for you. One time when I did turn it on, our DMD did light up. It said stern and a few other, you know, whatever. So I know our DMD's working, but then the other times I turned it on, it wouldn't, the DMD wouldn't light. Didn't seem like we had hardly any GI going on when I had it on for a little bit. But like I said, I just don't like leaving them on when a coil's locked on. So we're gonna start pulling these boards out one by one and going over them, reflow solder the headers, and test out a bunch of other stuff and see what else, see if everything's okay. I think the first one we're going to do is our little power supply. I think we'll pull him down, take a look at him, and make sure everything's okay on it, and then we can move on to our driver board, and then we'll do our MPU last, or CPU. We'll do our CPU last. So without further ado, let's get that little power supply out of there and see what it looks like. Okay, we got our little, I thought this was just a regular power supply, but I figured out if you peel this back just a little bit, it says display power supply board. Not much to it. For powering our display, our DMD. I'll change out the two caps. I have them sitting there, and reflow the headers, the pins, and then I'll test all of our other little fun little critters down inside here and see if our fuse is any good and if it's the right one. And you know, it's like I said, there's not a whole hell of a lot to it. You just just a little power supply for the DMD. Should be a high voltage too, if I'm not mistaken. What are those? Yeah, 220, 200 volt. So it'll be a little bit high. Okay, the headers, the pins on it, I don't see anything cracked or anything, but, you know, no cold solder joints, but we're going to do them anyway, just to make sure. And we'll get everything else tested and make sure everything else is okay, and if so, we can pop this in and move on to our driver board. Alright, see if I'm going to try and show you what I found. We have this big, 5 watt, 2K 5 watt resistor. And you can see how nice and shiny that pin is, that connector, and you see how kind of dark gray that is. Every time I see something like that, I'm always suspect, and you can see there's a, I don't know if you can pick it up, but right around the terminal there is kind of black, like it's got heat. Oh, see if we can. Now, watch that. I can hold still. That one's broke away from the board, and the end pin. Come on, focus. Might be a little too close. Anyway, that last pin, there's a dark ring around it. And that's a cold solder joint as well. Changed the caps and everything else tests out good. So now I'm going to reflow all this and we'll be ready to put her back in. Okay, we've got our little display power board back in, and now I just seen that. That looks weird. Look at that. I have to check that and make sure that's right. Okay, anyway, it looks like, yeah, we'll find out when we get up there. Now, let's get our driver board taken out of here. I just seen a couple of things up there that looked a little off, and had to look at them. But I'm not going to be able to do all of this with one hand. On off of there. So, I mean, nope. Okay, I'm going to have to get both hands on that and hold that board down. Okay, we got our driver board pulled. On the driver boards, normally what I do is I change the caps. I have the big ones, the 15,025s. I do have this one here. I think that's a 160, 200, no, 330, 160 volt. This is the only one I don't have, which is a 4735 volt, but you know, it seems okay, but I have them ordered, so if we have a problem, I'll change it out. But I always do change these big ones. Those are usually filter caps to steady voltages, is what they normally do. Could be wrong, but you know, hey, whatever. Then I'll check our bridge rectifiers. We have 5 bridge rectifiers on this board. We'll test them out, and I'll show you how I test them. And then we'll go through and test every one of our solenoid driver transistors. These ones here are our lamps, and these are our lamp columns. These are lamp rows, lamp columns. And let's see. Okay, yep, my desolderer is ready. And let's see, switches. Auxiliary out port. Oh. Our switches should be around here too. See, we have high current solenoid, low current solenoid, and low current solenoid. You can see somebody was working in here and melted the header here. But which ones are switches? These are powers going out. We have our lamps, solenoids, and auxiliary. I don't think our switches are on, switch matrix is on the on the CPU. Could be. Maybe. Okay, well, we'll find out. Anyway, we have 5, you know, this thing's loaded with fuses. They're protecting everything here. We got 4 fuses up here. We have 5 fuses here and 4 more fuses down below. So we'll check all of those, which that one doesn't look too healthy. F20, we can look that up and see what that goes to. Yeah, that's the only one that doesn't look too healthy. But we'll test them. It might be fine. It may just look a little ugly. Now on our solenoid, our auto launch is locked on, and that is Q2. So this will be interesting to see if we find this. Let's see, that's 20, that's 22. Where's 2? Q1, 3, 5, 7, Q2 right here. We'll get him tested, and it'll be interesting to find if it's any good. If it's still good, then we know we're probably going to have a problem up on our CPU. But we'll test them all and see what we come up with. And change our caps, check a bunch of stuff, reflow all the headers, and our big header, our big plugs here, and get those reflowed, and it'll be ready to put back in. So let me get busy, and I'll bring you back when I start testing some stuff. I'm going to change these caps first, and then I'll start testing bridge rectifiers and solenoid transistors. Okay, folks, we got the 5 big ones changed, and the heck is it? Forgot already. 330, 200 volt. Got that one changed. Like I said, I don't have the 4700. If something comes about where we need to, I'll get them in. I mean, it's ordered. It's not like this one is 40 years old, you know, like some of the stuff that we've been working on. You know, this is a 2000, so it's, you know, only 23 years old. Not quite as bad, but bad enough, I guess. And let's see. Now what we need to do is we need to check all of our driver transistors and check our 5 bridge rectifiers. And I have already gone through and checked everything. And it's, you know, you can check these any way you want. You know, this may not be the right way, but this is the way I do it. It gives me a really good idea. Now they still could be bad, but you know, this way is a good way when you're doing your maintenance on them. is to find some problems and fix them, and then at least those are out of the way. And you know, something else could be wrong, but or it still could be wrong. You know, I have seen them where they check good, but then under a load they don't do doodly squat. So, but at least if you find some that are not up to par, then you can change them while you have the board out already, and you're not putting it back in, and then it's bad. You pull it back out. You know, this is at least one time, maybe twice, that you're not going to be pulling a board out to work on it. I gotta move that. Okay. Now you can see I have these three here marked. I mark them with a Sharpie when I run across stuff that's bad. On these, let's see, this one, let's see, I think it's the negatives this side there. Yeah, so we'll start here. Let's see, oops, come on. 5366. You know, and what you're doing is you're just checking for a voltage drop. This one, 5366. So the chances of those two being bad together are pretty slim, but you know, 5266. Okay, so all three of those all measure out the same. Then you come up to this one, and we have 0.099 and 0.66. Okay, so we're pretty darn sure that that one is not working, that one is bad. That's why I marked it. This one I marked bad because I was going up through here and these were all testing the same, and then this one here was different, and I marked it, and then I found out that the rest of them up the top are all testing the same. If I'm not mistaken, these are tip 122s up top here. So you have nothing on one side, and come on, 0.54. So we'll come up to the next one, 0.55, nothing. 0.55, nothing. 0.55, nothing. So you figure, you know, if all four of those test the same, I think you can pretty much say that all four of those are good, and they all tested the same all the way up through. So I'm pretty confident that those are all okay. It's just that I marked it and I can't erase the Sharpie off the off the board. But I do know that that one is good in my mind for right now, as long as that stays together. Okay, and then over here we have 0.55, nothing. And we come down to this one, we have 0.059 and 0.119. Okay, this one I think should be 0.52, 0.66. Those are going to be the same as all of these. This one here should be the same. We'll start up here and we'll see 0.55, nothing. 0.55, nothing. 0.54, nothing. So see, these are all testing out the same up top here. Then we get down to this one that I marked already, and we have 0.059 and 0.119. So pretty confident that that one right there is bad. We have these two that are bad down below, and then at the top you can see I have another one marked off here. Same thing, we have 0.57, nothing. 0.57, nothing. Come over here, 0.57, nothing. We go to this one, we have 0.57, and nothing. Now why the hell did I mark it? Huh. There it is. 0.289. Okay. Let's try this one. 0.57. Nothing. And we'll come back up to this one. We have 0.56. I wonder if I touched. Yeah. I had my... I don't know, that one's acting kind of wonky. See? That's why we're going to change that one out. We have them, so we're going to change them. Change it, I mean, just because it acts kind of wonky now and then, so we're just going to go ahead and change it. Now, on bridge rectifiers, still on diode test. The one terminal that is different than the other. One of these things is not like the other. This is your positive right here. So you're going to put your positive or your negative lead on your positive and test. You'll have, you know, same thing, 0.54. Anything below 7 and anything above 3. 3 or 4 is good. It's the same with the resistors. And you'll test this pin and then this pin. Come on. There we go, 0.53. Now, this is your negative. So now you're going to put your negative, or your positive lead on your negative, and test again. So you have 0.54, 0.54. So you see, what this is 4 diodes in a circuit here, or in a bridge. Goes to here, and then from here to here. Same thing, here to here, here to here. And then they all jump out and go out. You got your power coming in to your positive, and your power coming into your negative. Or your negative underneath, sorry. But, you know, we'll do the same thing with all of these. Remember, one of these things is not like the other, is your positive. Same thing, 0.54, and you come over here, 0.54. Positive on negative, 0.53, 0.53. Now chances of both of those bridge rectifiers being bad are, you know, pretty minute, but you know, it could happen. But there's 5 bridges on here. I've tested them all, and they're all the same. Every bridge rectifier tests out like the other ones. So we can be pretty confident that all of those are good too. So now what I got to do is I need to change these three transistors, and we'll be ready to put, oh, and then I have to reflow. I'll reflow all the headers too, all the pins. Now just for the hell of it, our auto launch coil was locked on, and that was Q2. Now let's see what, and guess what? Q2 is bad. So that could be why our auto launch coil is locked on. Pretty interesting, huh? Yeah, right. Okay, so I'll get this all completed, and then we can move on to our CPU. Okay, we got our 3 bad transistors changed, and one of them was for our auto launch. And we got a bad fuse, which, where'd it go? F30. Let me get that swapped around. And it's the one that looks kind of funky. And you can see that is definitely cookered. And they had a 3 amp in it. 3 amp slow blow stop. And the book says, oops, that's the 20. I thought I looked up. Yeah, I did. F20. This should be a 4 amp slow blow. Yes, I know. There's a joke in there somewhere or something. Comment, whatever. Let's just leave it alone. So I'm going to change this little dude out and put a 4 in it. And then we'll be ready to pop it back in and move on to our CPU. Alright, F20 runs some magnets. The mystery ball. Ooh, mystery. And playfield. So now it's ready to go in. I'll stick him in there and pull out the CPU and we'll take a little gander at it. See, I reflowed all of our connections all the way through, even our big ones for our big power plugs and everything. So we should be in pretty good shape with our solenoid driver, or just plain driver board. All the other fuses checked out, and everything else checks out pretty good too. Pretty good? Yeah, pretty good. Okay, let's pop it in. Okay, here's our lovely CPU. Just some discoloration on it, maybe? What do you think? Not too bad though. Looks like we have just a lot of just discoloration. We'll clean it. I'm going to clean it up with some regular cleaner first. I want to see how much of this, because see, a lot of this is like resin. You know, that stuff comes right off. I had that on my finger yesterday and it washes right off. So I'm going to try and wash the board first so we can get a better, you know, we'll see what, you can see that? Yep, I hope. Here lately I haven't had very good luck with some alkaline damaged boards. So hopefully this is going to be an exception, because I looked at these boards by Decaying Canine, and they're like $450 if you can find it for the Sega Stern Sega Whitestar. So we need to save this board. What I will do is I'm going to pull these three chips here and take a look at the legs. Take that battery holder the hell out of there, and then I'm going to scrub the board and see what we can come up with. Backside actually looks worse than the front. I'll see how much of that I can get off. What I will do is either mean green or crud cutter. I'm going to wash this board down real good, and then I will wash it again with alcohol, because alcohol will will help dissipate water. Plus, when you're using water in that to rinse off electronics, I run across this in repairing cell phones, that usually water damaged cell phone, you take a look at them and you'll have these little white stuff in it, and it's not alkaline. What it is it's minerals in the water and they create little traces. You know, you'll have a little bit of white in between two resistors here, and that'll actually cause a contact in there. Not a strong one, but enough to do for things not to boot, or, you know, to turn on or whatever. It's the minerals in the water that once they dry, they create little white traces. So you have to clean them really good with alcohol after you use water on any electronics, because of the minerals in the water. So with that being said, I hope that made sense to everybody. I am going to pull these chips, and then we can start cleaning this board. I have a screwdriver here that I can get right under my chips. And that one, yep, see that? That pulled one of the contacts right up out of the socket. That's what that little piece is right there on my finger. So we know we have to change this socket. How many is that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 28 pin. Yeah, I think I have some 28 pin sockets. This is a 32. I don't think I have any 32, so let's ooh, yeah, see, there's some more of that, some of that fun green stuff. Let's pull this chip. This is our, I think this is our sound chip here. Same thing. You can see the, I'll get you down here a little closer. You can see when I pulled that chip that the clips inside the socket are just busting off, and that's alkaline damage. So we might have a little more problems than what I was hoping for. Now we'll pull, let's see, let's get this one up out of there. It's been pulled a few times, I'll tell you that, because it's, if you look at the pins, see how they're on an angle? That one, what is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a 20 pin. I don't even know if I have a 20. This chip should be okay. We're not over far enough. There's no alkaline or anything over here. So I think on this side of this chip here we're good. That chip looks good. This socket seems to be okay. It's not, you know, green and fuzzy like this one and this one. Those two we have to change. The rest of this I'm hoping we'll clean up and we'll be able to get away with everything here. I think there's a couple of diodes right up in here that we may need to change. I'll know better once I get the get the battery holder the hell out of here, and then we'll really be able to inspect it, and I'll clean it and we'll take a look. So I'm gonna get rid of the battery holder, and I'm gonna remove these two sockets, and then we're gonna clean it up and see what we can come up with. Oops, you didn't even see that. Okay, battery and those two sockets, we'll remove those two. Alright, I got everything kind of removed here in the alkaline damaged area. It's pretty much confined right up into here as far as the chips go. You seen I was pulling the chips, and the sockets themselves was just breaking up out of there. So I got everything removed that I wanted to remove. I do have all of these in case, but it doesn't look too bad down along that bottom. So we're gonna kind of leave that go. But what I did do was first I took the board over and I sprayed this whole corner and all the bottom. That's why my label's getting a little goofy, with Crud Cutter, and scrubbed the board front, side, and back. Then I washed it all off, and I took a little Scotch-Rite and just, cleaned everything up really good here, all the way down to where I could see traces showing, taking the masking off and getting all them little green little nasty critters off of it. Got that all cleaned up, went down through here. Like I said, the acid damage or alkaline damage seemed to be, concentrated more right around these three chips. Especially our main one right here, the U10 or U210. This side of the U213 was bad, and same with U212. When I pulled that chip, the socket was just busting up out of there, and those little green critters just kind of ate it away. Now you can use sandpaper, a little wire brush, Scotch-Rite, whatever you feel you want to use and you feel comfortable with using, you use. Let's see, this crap over here, that's silicone from where somebody glued the plasma display ribbon cable down. Must have a problem with it coming up out. I'll probably have to order new ribbon cables for this too. But yeah, I got it all cleaned up, and then I Scotch-Rited it, both sides, back. You can see here, like I said, this is pretty much where the alkaline damage is right around this main chip in the middle. And down in here, we had a little bit of fuzz, a little bit of green. I just kind of cleaned it all up. Then I took my vinegar, and I dumped vinegar all over it, and took my little toothbrush and I just scrubbed it with vinegar. Just constantly, just moving, scrub, getting it under everything that I could and around, and making sure I get it really, really scrubbed good with vinegar, both sides. Then I washed it off real good with hot water. Let it dry a little bit. And then I took alcohol and poured alcohol on the board, and same thing. I just scrubbed it around and got it all cleaned up, both sides, with alcohol. And I'm pretty confident we got probably about 95% of it. There's always some alkaline lurking somewhere on these boards. It could be anywhere. I don't care how well. You'd have to strip this board from here over and just scrub the hell out of it. And even then, you have little pores and little nicks in traces and all that where those little nasty critters can hide, and they're just ready to attack and creep out and eat, getting after your board. So we got her all cleaned up, and now I'm gonna start populating it. I'm sure we're gonna have some traces that are bad. So we'll have to, once we get it, I checked all the traces under the chips to make sure those ones are good, so we don't have to pull a chip if we have one. So we're going to put sockets in. Like I said, I checked all the traces under the sockets. They're all good. I checked one right up here. You can see I kind of have it marked. This one here is bad. So we'll have to put a little wire, little jumper on the bottom side. I don't want to, I can do it on the top. It's kind of hard to solder to that wee little bitty pad, but we will go from underneath and put a little jumper on there. So let me get busy and I'll get this populated, and we'll be ready to start checking some traces and see if we have anything else that we have to do to this before we pop it in. Now I got all my sockets and got everything all populated that I had taken out and repopulated that. Now what I am doing is, let me get this, there we go, is now I'm checking traces. Went across here. All these traces are good. Every one of these pins goes up to these pins here. And then I started here and I found one bad on the end to the end. So I put a little jumper in and got that one repaired. And now it's just same thing. Just start testing traces over where they go. And if you find one that's bad, then you put a little jumper in and fix it up. Now it looks like it's all, you know, just kind of confined right in this small area right in here. And that's where the worst of the alkaline was, on the back side here. And we'll do the same thing. I'll just keep testing, and as I need them, I'll put them in. You can use any wire that you want. You know, I have some real small wire that's insulated, so it, you know, makes it easy. I don't have to worry about it touching anything else. Just a little spot on each one of the pins, and away you go. You're in good condition, good shape. So it's starting to shape up. It doesn't mean that we don't have any other problems on this board, but first we got to take care of this. The alkaline damage first before we can move on to anything else. This little area right here, I have to really check that good, because it doesn't look real healthy in there either. So we'll get it tested out as well, and get everything all put back in where it belongs. So fun, fun, fun. Okay, that's it. I found one trace that was bad on our U210, and I can't get under the socket, and I couldn't put the wire on before I put the socket in, so I just soldered it, my little jumper, right off of the leg to the spot that it's broke. Has one of these little bitty test points, I call them. And I just soldered it right down to that little test point. So that's taken care of. Now on the back, you can see I had 3 bad traces, and got those ones all done. Everything else checks out good so far. You know, I checked all my traces. Everything else, I have continuity. to where they're supposed to go. So we should be in good shape here. Like I said, this is right where the battery damage was. It probably came right down through that stupid hole, because that's right at the bottom of the battery. There, and then just crept right on through that hole, and then just started eating our board. And we caught it, and it was trying, but it got up here, and it just, those little green devils just ate the heck out of it. But hopefully we got her fixed. We'll get this put in and get it fired up. I still got to put a remote battery on it. I'm going to do a remote battery pack so I can mount it on the inside of the cabinet that way. If I forget to change the batteries, it'll puke down the side of the inside of the cabinet, not on our board. So I'll put the battery pack on, and then we'll go get this popped in and see what the heck happens. Okay, we got her all installed. Got everything all hooked up. Got our acid damage taken care of. I got my remote battery over there. Not sure if the sterns will come on without the batteries in it or not. We'll find out. If it don't, then we'll put some batteries in it and see what happens. Let's see, we took care of the display power board, serviced it, put new caps on it, serviced our power supply, put all new caps on it, except for this one. I didn't have that one, and that should be okay. And we had to change a couple driver transistors. Got those taken care of. We took care of all the acid damage on the MPU, put new sockets on it and repopulated it. Had to put a couple jumpers in where some traces were all crapped out from the acid, from the alkaline. And I think I got everything all plugged in, and even the machine's plugged in, and we're ready to turn it on and see what happens. Remember the last time when we first turned it on, the auto shoot or whatever solenoid was locking on. So now let's see what happens. Open the door. Stern. Sharkey Shootout. Checksum. 3 balls missing. And then I think also, our glass has to be on too. Okay, anyway, let's see what's going on. Let's see if all of our, looks like most of our lights are on for our power. We have a few lights on our play field. Tell you what, I'll set the play field back down. Dang. This thing acts like it wants to work. Imagine that, huh? Alright, let me set the play field down, and we'll throw some, I think this takes 4, yeah. Throw some balls in it, and we'll see what it does. Okay, I put batteries in our little remote battery holder too. Open the door! Don't know why it says that. I'll have to, okay, we'll open the door. Sharkey 2000, location ID, 3 balls missing. And I think a track mode came on at some point. Anyway, there's the track mode. Got a bunch of light bulbs out, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. just for the heck of it, she lit up. Let's replay it. 125 million.
I'm Jeanette Lee, the best pool player in the world.
Oh yeah, here, let me pull that back. Oh, whack! Oh, let's see. Where's that? I don't think there's a... I know it. I know the flippers definitely need some help. Okay, we don't have any slingshots. Oh, we got one. This one's not doing doodly. Let's see.
Excellent.
Okay, that one didn't work.
You continue to surprise me, human. Bravo! Again, sarcasm. Well done. Nice going. Outstanding.
I don't know. Let's have a little fun here. Let's see if I can. Okay. Mystery. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
I'm liking this. If you haven't noticed. I don't know why. Okay, now let's see if our posts work. That one doesn't. That one does. Okay, it's just an instant. Goes up and then goes back down. That one may just be a switch or something. Now I need to see if the center one's gonna work, but I gotta push it down so I can push both of those buttons. Yep. So it is actually recognizing that we're pushing them both in, because you have to push them both to get that. Okay, yeah, it looks like we've got a few things to work on. Bumpers. There's a piece of plastic. Oh no, that's what's left of them stinking rubber. Oh. Ah. Sat there long enough it shot itself. The auto launch match. Alright, so that's going to do it for this episode of Sharkey Shootout. At least it looks like we got most of it running. We do have a lot of work to do. So I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. So until next time, See ya.